Psychology, Class 12, Chapter 2, Self and Personality, Part 2. We will have a quick recap of what we did earlier. We talked about self and personality, self as subject and object, kinds of self, cognitive and behavioral self, culture and self. Today, we will talk about concept of personality, major approaches to study of personality, which are type approach, trait approach, psychodynamic approach, post-Freudian, behavioral, cultural approach, and humanistic approach. First, we will talk about what is personality. It has come from the Roman word which means persona. These are the masks actor used to wear when they used to go on the stage. It is a pattern of our behavior. For example, we can be shy, we can be sensitive. In sum total, personalities are attitudes and reaction which are both physical and emotional. These are the first major approaches to study of personality. First, we will talk about type approach and trait approach. What is the difference between type and trait approach? Type approach says, for example, a person can be either extrovert or introvert. For example, अगर हम एक स्केल ले रहे हैं 1 on 10, एक पर्सन यहाँ तो एक्सट्रोवर्ट हो सकता है यहाँ तो इंट्रोवर्ट हो सकता है. He can't be 5, 6, 7. He can't be. There is no continuum. In trait approach, a person can be extrovert, ambivert, introvert. On a scale to 1 on 10, he can be on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But type approach are very rigid. They say personality, they can be either extrovert or introvert. They can't be in between, ambivert. They have classified personality in two parts only. Trait approach says there is a continuum and person can be on any scale. From 1 to 10, he can be on 6, he can be on 7. So first we will talk about type approaches. In type approaches, we will talk about Hippocrates, Charak Samhita, Sheldon and Carl Jung. First we will talk about Hippocrates theory. They gave theory on the basis of fluid which the human being is dominated by. For example, if choleric is the most dominated, that is yellow bile, a person may be irritable. His personality will be irritable. He will get easily irritated. For example, if you say a little thing to a person, he gets irritated. Then is melancholic, which is black bile. Person may get depressed very easily. Then is phlegmatic. Phlegmatic, they are very calm. The fluid they have is phlegm. Then is sanguine. They are very optimistic. Their high fluid is blood. They are very energetic always. Then is Charak Samhita. On the basis of three dosha, Ayurveda has given how personality can be classified is Vat, Pitta and Kapha. Vat, they are very fast and restless. Pitta, they are very sharp and decisive and ready to very curious to know everything. Kapha, they are very slow and throughout in all the activities they do it very nicely and stability is there. Then is personality based on three gunas. First is Sat, Rajas and Tamas. Sat is when we only talk about truth, right? We can talk about saints who are always talking about the truth and the righteous part. Then is Rajas, even when they talk about the fighting people who are always active and ready to fight. Tamas is who are very bodily oriented, whose basic needs are not even fulfilled. Then we will talk about Sheldon's classification. He gave personality on the basis of body structure. He said if a person is endomorph, for example, a structure who is very roundy type, a very healthy personality, he is very easygoing, sociable, and affectionate. If he is mesomorph, a development of stomach and bones are very less. He likes to work. He is very interested and very adventurous, very keen to participate in each and every activity. If person is very tall, thin, and weak, his body is ectomorph. They are very pessimistic and sociably. They don't like to involve in people and gathering. Then is Carl Jung. He described personality in two parts. He said person can be introvert or extrovert. Introvert is inwardly. They have a own their world. They are in their own world. Extrovert is extrovertly, they love going out, they love mixing up with the people, they are very sociable. Friedman and Roseman talked about type A personality, type B. Morris talked about type C personality, and there is a type D personality. For example, type A, you can learn it like type A, anger. They get very anger easily, and if there is a lot of anger, they may cause CHD, coronary heart disease. Type B, very relaxed, happy go lucky people. Type C, you can learn from Cancer. C, Cancer. They are very prone to themselves and they don't participate in much activities. They are very critical about everything. Type D, D for depression. They like they don't like outgoing. They are not sociable. For example, if a type A person will go to a beach and take a book, he will read a book there. Type B personality will take a book and it will help him out. How? वो अपनी बुक को एक शेड की तरह अपने फेस पे रखकर सो जाएगा. But type A will learn a book there. Then we have trait theories. What are trait? It's a consistent, enduring way of thinking, feeling, or behaving. For example, you can be relaxed, you can be tense, or you can be even in between. Trait theories, we have three psychologists in trait theories. First is Gordon Allport, Raymond Cattell. Second, third is Eysenck. We will talk one by one. First is Allport. Allport gave three traits: cardinal, central traits, and secondary traits. Cardinal traits, they dominate an individual whole life. The person becomes known specifically for these traits. For example, Hitler we know by hatred, right? Gandhian trait we sometimes hear. Mother Teresa is known for her peace. Then is central trait. Central trait, they are the basic foundation of personality. They are not dominating as cardinal traits, but they are around this cardinal trait. For example, a person may be intelligent, honest, shy. Then are the secondary traits. These traits are not visible, but a person may be obnoxious when speaking to a group or impatient while waiting in a line. Elput made a dictionary. He took a dictionary, he took out 1500 subjective. Then he did factor analysis. I will explain this. Then he took 200 words. Then he finally came to three words, which are cardinal traits, central traits, and secondary traits. We can even learn this. For example, cardinal is in between. We can draw a circle. In between is cardinal, my most dominating trait, which I am known by. Then is center, which is surrounding my cardinal traits. Then is a more circle, centric circle, secondary traits, which are day to day life, which influence but which are not visible as central and cardinal traits. Then we will talk about Cattell trait theory. He talked about surface trait and source trait. For example, अगर कोई बिल्डिंग बनाता है, हम बिल्डिंग में सबसे पहले नींव बनाते हैं, उसकी हम एक ईंट रखते हैं, उससे बिल्डिंग बनती है, तो वो क्या होगा, हमारी सरफेस ट्रेट. और उससे क्या बनता है, एक सोर्स बनता है जो हमको विजिबल होता है. फॉर एग्जांपल किसी ने लाइब्रेरी बनानी है, तो वहाँ पे जो रेत सीमेंट यूज़ हो रहा है वो हमारा सरफेस होगा, और जो बिल्डिंग हमको दिखाई दे रही है वो हमारी सोर्स ट्रेट होगी. फॉर एग्जांपल सरफेस ट्रेट क्या हो सकते हैं, शाई हो सकता है पर्सन, क्वाइट हो सकता है पर्सन, और जब इनका इंट्रैक्शन होता है तब सोर्स क्या दिखता है हमको, कि ही इज अ इंट्रोवर्ट, राइट. देन he talked about 16 PF. What is 16 PF? 16 he gave these factors, 16 personality factors. He used this method called factor analysis. Factor क्या होता है, factor can be for example reserved, concrete thinking, affected by feeling. Analysis मतलब कि इनको analyze करना. इसने भी सेम किया था जो एल्पेट ने किया था, इसने भी डिक्शनरी ली, इसने भी फैक्टर्स को रोटेट किया. We will understand the meaning of factor analysis now. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर एक पर्सन वार्म है, फ्रेंडली है, सोशेबल है, मैं उसको एक्सट्रोवर्ट बोल सकती हूँ. इसके मतलब जो मेरे 3 फैक्टर्स थे मैंने उसको एक में क्लब अप कर दिया और मेरे फैक्टर्स कम हो गए. इसका मतलब मैंने क्या किया, मैंने फैक्टर्स को एनालाइज किया और जो मिलते जुलते थे उसको मैंने एक में क्लब अप कर दिया, एक में कॉमन कर दिया. क्योंकि अगर मैं नहीं करूँगी तो मुझे एल्पर्ट की तरह जैसे उसको शुरू में 1500 एडजेक्टिव्स मिले थे वो मिलेंगे एंड इट विल बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू कंडक्ट अ टेस्ट। बट अगर मैं 16 फैक्टर्स पे किसी को बोलूँ कि कंडक्ट अ टेस्ट, वो टाइम भी हमारा कंज्यूम होगा and there is no fatigue also. Then is Eysenck personality theory. He gave neuroticism versus emotional stability, extroversion versus introversion, psychoticism versus sociability. First we will talk about neuroticism versus emotional stability. इमोशनल स्टेबल वो लोग होते हैं जिनको पता होता है कि हमको कंट्रोल कैसे करने हैं अपने इमोशंस, कि कहीं पे भी रो नहीं देना है। बट जो न्यूरोटिसिज्म होते हैं हम उसको अनइमोशनल इमोशनल अनस्टेबिलिटी भी कह सकते हैं। मतलब कि उनको नहीं पता हाउ टू रिएक्ट, अगर कुछ भी छोटा सा भी बोल दिया एकदम रोने लग जाएंगे। दे डोंट हैव कंट्रोल ओवर देयर इमोशंस बेसिकली। Then is extrovert and introvert. Extrovert are very outgoing people, while introvert they are very socially withdrawn. They don't like to interact with much people. Then we have psychotism versus sociability, which he gave later. सोशबिलिटी क्या होगा, जो अगर हम अकॉर्डिंग टू नॉर्म्स जा रहे हैं सोसाइटी की, फॉर एग्जांपल जो हमारे रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस बने लाइफ में, ट्रैफिक लाइट को क्रॉस नहीं करना है, रेड लाइट आएगी तो उसको क्रॉस नहीं करना है, तो हम वी आर गोइंग विद द नॉर्म्स ऑफ सोसाइटी, विद द कल्चर ऑफ सोसाइटी। और साइकोटिसिज्म क्या होगा, जो डाइवर्ट करता है सोसाइटी से, जो सोसाइटी के रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस को फॉलो नहीं करता है। अब ये आइजिंग की थ्योरी बनी कैसे थी? ही सेड कुछ स्पेसिफिक बिहेवियर होते हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मेरा बिहेवियर है सुबह जल्दी उठना, वो मेरा हैबिट बन जाएगा। और अगर मैं रेगुलर हैबिट अगर जल्दी उठूंगी वो मेरा ट्रेड बन जाएगा और वो मेरा सुपर फैक्टर बन जाएगा। इसका मतलब मैं बहुत ज़्यादा पंक्चुअल होंगी अपने काम के लिए, तो वो मेरा क्या बन गया, सुपर फैक्टर। तो आइजिंग ने बताया था कि हम हमारे ट्रेड्स ऐसे डेवलप होते हैं। देन द लास्ट इज 5 फैक्टर मॉडल बाय कॉस्टा एंड मैक्रे। आप इसको ऐसे भी लर्न कर सकते हैं, ओशन। इट इज़ वेरी इजी। फर्स्ट इज ओपननेस। ओपननेस का मतलब होता है जब लोग नई चीज़ें ट्राई करते हैं अपनी लाइफ में, बहुत एडवेंचरस होते हैं, ओपन टू एक्सपीरियंस, ओपन टू लर्न एनीथिंग इन लाइफ, राइट। उसके बाद है कंसेंशियस। कंसेंशियस पीपल दे आर वेरी सेंसिबल, हार्ड वर्किंग। जो इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा लो रेट करेगा, जिसके अगर हमने इसमें स्केल लगाया और अगर लो ग्रेड आया, इसका मतलब वो हमेशा लेट होते हैं काम के लिए, कभी भी मीटिंग में टाइम पे नहीं पहुंचेंगे। फिर है एक्सट्रोवर्जन और इंट्रोवर्जन। एक्सट्रोवर्जन एज वी नो सोशली पीपल, सोशल गोइंग आउट, एंड इंट्रोवर्ट टोटली ऑपोजिट टू देम इन देयर ओन वर्ल्ड। देन इज एग्रीबलनेस। अगर किसी का रेटिंग हाई आता है इस रेट में, इसका मतलब दे आर वेरी फ्रेंडली, इजी गोइंग, चलो ठीक है चलते हैं घूमने के लिए। बट अगर लो आता है स्केल में, they are very hard to get along. It's very difficult to ask them out and for example to a trip, to a tour, they won't easily agree. Then is neuroticism. जिनका स्कोर बहुत ज़्यादा हाई होता है इसमें, दे आर वेरी वरिड, ऑलवेज वरिड अबाउट एवरीथिंग। अगर इसी में स्कोर लो है तो वेरी काम, वेरी रिलैक्स। देन these are the difference and different type of trait and trait type and trait approach. In trait we have 4 and in type we have 6. So this is a quick recap. Type we talk about Hippocrates fluid. Charak Samhita we talked about 3 doshas. Then we talked about 3 gunas. Sheldon theory was based on body. Carl Jung was based on personality. Then we talked about Friedman Roseman, type A, type B, type C. Elpert we talk about cardinal, central and secondary traits. Cattle we talked about 16 PF. Ising we talked about 3 types of personality, and big factor ocean. So this is for today and we will talk about other theories in our next chapter.